Assalamu alaikum. We'll be working on a code for to-do list in Python. So let's look at the instructions first. Build a to-do list application that allows users to add, remove, and list tasks. You can store tasks in a list or use a text file for storage. Moving on to the outline of the code, we are firstly going to create a text file, then we are going to use some functions where we'll be introducing the variables. We'll also be using some loops, and lastly we're going to use conditional statements. So let's move to the code window so that we can make this to-do list app. First of all, what we need to do is create a text file. So here we're going to give a command for the creation of text file. Now the text file will be generated. Moving on, we're going to create functions for these three, for adding, removing, and listing tasks. So first of all, we're going to create a function for adding the tasks. Alright. This is how we're going to define the function. We're going to name the function and then we're going to call the tasks in that function. First of all, we're going to open the file to-do list as A. A means append so that we can make any changes to the file. And then we're going to, because we need to add the task, so we're going to open the file as write in write mode so that we can write anything in that. And then later on, we're going to print in an F string how the tasks, and this would be the task that we have written from this code is added. So this is how the adding any of the tasks function is being created. Next, we'll be creating a function for the list of tasks where you can list the tasks. So here it goes. It is going to first of all open the file that we've created above in the read mode, because we are going to display the task, the list of the tasks. So it will be opened in a read mode, and then we've created this variable here, which is going to make the file in read lines pattern so that you can read all those listed tasks in the list. Then we have used the conditional statements here, and the first one simply shows that if no tasks are represented, then this is how you're going to write it, and the other one is that definitely the tasks we're going to add up, they will be presented like this. For this we have used a loop, and we've used this variable, which is basically it is showing us the number of entries made by the user, and this is how it is going to be printed. So moving on, next up we're going to create a function for the removing of any task. Alright, so this is how it will be created. So for removing a task, we're definitely going to call the index for which we want to remove the task, and then we're going to open the file as read mode, because we are going to read the file. We're not going to make any addition to the file. We're going to read it, and then we are going to see which tasks to remove. So similarly, we are going to call it in the read lines mode, and again we've used a loop here. Now this time we have used this variable named as removed task, and then we have called the task dot pop. Now pop removes any of the added line or sentence or any of the task. In this case, it will pop out that particular task from the list. Then we are going to open the to-do list in a write mode. W means the write mode, and then it is going to write lines similarly we have discussed earlier, and then it is going to print removed task dot strip. Now this is basically for the task that is removed. We have generated an F string here, and which is going to show which task we have removed. And then in the else statement, obviously it is going to print that invalid task index if any other index has been mentioned other than the ones in the list. Let's suppose you've added 4 tasks in the list, and if you enter like number 5 index, then this error will be generated. We'll later on see when we'll be running the code. So now we are going to move forward to our main function. The main code. Now we are going to use the loop here. We're going to use loop here in order to, print the three options: the remove option, the add option, and the list task option. So it will be something like this. All right. Now this while loop is going to be running, and then there will be a menu right here, and these three tasks will be listed. So first one is for list task, second is for add task, and third is for remove task. These will be displayed to the user once the code is run. Now here we are going to create a variable which is going to take the input from the user for from among these three choices that which he or she wants to select. So here we have introduced a variable named as choice, and then we are going to take input from the user that enter your choice among the three we had mentioned above. All right. And this is the last part of the code where we're going to run our if else statement. So first of all, we're going to run our very first statement, which will be for the index number 1. That is, if your choice you've made among these three is number 1, that is list tasks, then we're going to call this function that is list task, which is right here. This function will be called, and all the to-do list that you had created where you had added the tasks and everything, that will be displayed right in this option. Moving on, we are going to talk about the other choice. If let's say the user has made the choice of adding a task, it will be something like this. If the choice is 2, then this variable task will ask for entering a task, because you're going to add a task. So here we have called the add function, which was right created in the first code. Alright, now after this we're going to go for our third option, that if we or the user makes the third choice, then what is going to be printed. So here it is. We are going to call this function list tasks. It will be first listing the tasks for the user, and then he or she is going to input the index for which task he wants to remove among the list that has been provided, and then using this if statement we have removed that particular task. And to end this if else statement loop, we are lastly going to print an else statement right here, which is then going to break the loop right here. Print invalid input, please enter a valid task index, in case the user had input the wrong index. All right. This was for the if else statement, and this if statement there is the last else condition, which will say that it would also be saying for the invalid input. So we're going to print it right here like this. This else was for this if, and this else is for this if we had started earlier. So it is also talking about the invalid choice. Now we're going to run this code. Let's see what we get the output from this. Just wait for a second. Alright, so it has given us the menu, the three options, that list task, add task, or remove task. First of all, we're going to add task, because our list, you can see that there is no list right here, the text file we had created in the first step. So first of all, we're going to add a task right here, and then we're going to enter. We're going to add a task, let's say about studying chemistry. So the task studying chemistry is added, and here you can see that this to-do.txt file has been created. Let's suppose I want to add another task. Let's say computer test. Alright, so it says the task computer test is added. Now if we see this, we can see that these tasks are being stored here. Furthermore, if right here, if I want to list these tasks, if I want to list these right in this output window, I'm going to enter this one, and here it has tasks. Number 1 was studying chemistry, and number 2 was computer test. Now last option, we're going to test our last option, that is the remove task. Let's say if I enter 3, then it first shows me the task and then it asks me enter the index of the task to remove. Let's say I want to remove the computer test. I've prepared for the computer test, so I'm going to enter the second option, and here it says that task computer test is removed, and you can see in this text file that the second task has been removed. So this is how the code is run, and because we are in the loop, so it will continue to run the program. So that is it for the code. Thank you so much.